Take a deep breath, because what I'm about to guide you through will fundamentally shift your relationship with money and abundance. And as you allow yourself to relax completely, you might begin to notice how naturally your body knows how to receive, how effortlessly your lungs receive oxygen, how automatically your skin receives warmth from the sun, how perfectly your being is designed to receive abundance in all its forms, isn't it? I'm curious about which part of you already knows that money is simply energy, that wealth is simply a natural flow like water moving downstream, and you might wonder how quickly you'll remember that you were born deserving of abundance, that your very existence makes you worthy of prosperity, that the universe itself is abundant beyond measure, and you are an integral part of that magnificent abundance, aren't you? Have you ever noticed how the ocean never worries about having enough water, how the sun never concerns itself with running out of light, how the earth never fears lacking resources? Well, speaking to yourself right now, you can begin to understand that this same infinite abundance flows through you and to you. And as you continue to breathe, as you continue to exist in this moment, you're actually breathing in prosperity, breathing in wealth, breathing in the very essence of financial freedom. The question isn't whether you deserve abundance, but how magnificently abundant you're willing to become. And I don't know if you've realized yet how every cell in your body is programmed for prosperity. But those who understand wealth recognize that feeling rich creates riches. And something tells me you're the kind of person who chooses to feel wealthy regardless of current circumstances. You already know what it feels like to receive something wonderful, don't you? Think about a time when money came to you unexpectedly, when someone gave you something valuable, when you felt that beautiful sensation of receiving. And as you remember that feeling, that openness, that gratitude, you might begin to realize that this same receiving energy is expanding within you right now, growing stronger, becoming magnetic to even greater abundance. I'm not going to tell you to imagine being wealthy, but isn't it interesting how when you really feel into the sensation of abundance, when you truly embody the energy of prosperity, your entire nervous system begins to align with wealth. Your thoughts begin to think like a wealthy person. Your actions begin to flow from abundance rather than scarcity. And those who maintain this alignment discover that money begins to show up in ways that seem almost magical. What would happen if you decided right now that you are a money magnet, that wealth flows to you as naturally as breath flows through your lungs, that abundance seeks you out because you are abundance itself expressing in human form? Because when you really think about it, every wealthy person had to first feel wealthy before they became wealthy. And if you can feel joy, if you can feel gratitude, if you can feel love, then you already have access to the highest vibration of abundance. Picture yourself right now walking into your dream home, and as you step through that front door, you can feel the solid oak beneath your feet. You can see the sunlight streaming through the tall windows, illuminating spaces that are entirely yours. And as you move through room after room, each one more beautiful than the last, you might notice how naturally this feels, how completely right it feels to be surrounded by such beauty, such comfort, such tangible evidence of your prosperity. You don't have to believe me right now, but imagine for a moment that your bank account is growing even as we speak, that money is flowing to you from multiple sources. And as you check your balance, you see numbers that make you smile, numbers that make you feel secure, numbers that represent freedom and choice and the ability to live life on your own terms. And this feeling, this deep sense of financial security is already beginning to manifest in your reality. Have you realized yet how every millionaire was once someone who learned to feel wealthy before their external circumstances matched their internal state? how every person who has achieved financial freedom first mastered the art of feeling abundant, of thinking from wealth rather than toward wealth. Well, that's exactly what you're doing right now, programming your unconscious mind for unprecedented prosperity. And I'm getting the impression that you're the kind of person who naturally attracts abundance, aren't you? The truth is, money loves to flow to people who appreciate it, who treat it with respect, who understand that wealth is not about greed, but about freedom, not about taking, but about giving, not about scarcity, but about the infinite nature of abundance itself. And because you understand this, because your heart is open to both receiving and sharing, money flows to you easily, naturally, consistently. A person can choose to focus on lack or abundance. And you might find that the most prosperous people in history chose to focus on abundance, even when their circumstances suggested otherwise. That they understood gratitude as the gateway to greater wealth, appreciation as the magnet for more blessings, and that's perfectly fine because that's exactly what you're choosing right now, isn't it? You may not be aware yet of how this very moment is reprogramming your relationship with money, but as you continue to breathe, as you continue to exist in this space of infinite possibility, your financial thermostat is adjusting upward, your wealth consciousness is expanding, your abundance frequency is rising, and the version of you who lives in complete financial freedom is already emerging. I suggest you feel into the sensation of your wallet being thick with cash, if that's okay with you. And perhaps you might consider the weight of that money in your pocket, the satisfaction of knowing you have more than enough, because your unconscious mind already knows that you're not just someone who occasionally receives money. You're someone who consistently attracts wealth, who naturally generates abundance, who lives in the flow of prosperity. What's it like when you realize that every successful entrepreneur, every wealthy investor, every person who has achieved financial independence started exactly where you are right now, feeling into the reality of abundance before it became their physical reality, understanding that wealth begins in consciousness before it manifests in bank accounts? Because the moment you realize that abundance is your natural state, that prosperity is your birthright, that wealth is simply energy seeking expression through you, everything changes. And as that realization settles into every cell of your being, you might begin to understand that you're not separate from abundance. You are abundance, not someone wealth comes to, but someone through whom wealth flows. You could, if you wanted to, decide right now that every day brings new opportunities for income, that money comes to you from expected and unexpected sources, that your capacity to receive is expanding exponentially. And when that happens, and it will happen, you'll remember this moment as the turning point, the catalyst, the beginning of a completely new relationship with money and prosperity. The question isn't whether you have what it takes to be wealthy, because abundance doesn't require you to earn it or deserve it or prove yourself worthy of it. It only requires you to be open to it, to receive it, to allow it to flow through your life as naturally as water flows through a river, right? The real question is how magnificently prosperous you're willing to become, how much abundance you're willing to allow, how much wealth you're willing to receive and share with the world. I'm telling myself to remember that money is simply a tool for freedom, for creativity, for service, for living your highest purpose. And you might wonder how quickly you'll transform from someone who worries about money into someone who plays with money, someone whose financial success is so evident, so flowing, so natural that others study your story to understand how true prosperity is created. Speaking of transformations, isn't it interesting how a seed must trust the darkness of the soil before it becomes a mighty tree? And as you consider this natural process of growth and expansion, you might begin to recognize that you're in your prosperity germination phase right now. That beautiful space where your wealth consciousness is growing roots so deep and strong that nothing can shake your abundance, where your financial confidence is developing branches that will support unlimited prosperity. You're probably noticing that something inside you is shifting as you listen to these words, aren't you? And that shift is your recognition that you are not your current bank balance. You are not your past financial struggles. You are not the limitations others have placed on wealth. You are the unlimited abundance that flows through all things, the prosperity that seeks expression through your unique gifts, the wealth that is your natural inheritance as a child of an abundant universe. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because when you really think about it, every person who has ever achieved financial freedom has had moments where they had to choose between scarcity thinking and abundance thinking, between believing in limitations and believing in infinite possibility, between identifying with lack and identifying with wealth. And something tells me that you're choosing abundance, that you're choosing prosperity, that you're choosing to let this moment be the beginning of your wealthy life. Here's an interesting thing about money. It flows toward those who are grateful for what they already have, those who appreciate abundance in all its forms, those who understand that wealth consciousness creates wealthy circumstances. And as you embrace this prosperity mindset, you might begin to realize that you've been preparing for financial abundance your entire life, that every experience has been developing your capacity to receive, to manage, to share great wealth wisely and joyfully. Let me ask you this: if you knew with absolute certainty that money was flowing to you right now from multiple sources, from your work, from investments, from unexpected gifts, from opportunities you haven't even imagined yet, how would you feel? Well, the truth is, you can choose to feel that way right now, because those who achieve lasting wealth don't wait for money to feel prosperous. They feel prosperous and thus attract more money to feel prosperous about. On another note, have you ever considered that every lottery winner had to first see themselves as someone who could win the lottery? That they had to feel the joy of winning before the winning became reality? And if you've ever received money in your life, if you've ever felt grateful for abundance, if you've ever experienced the pleasure of prosperity, then you already know what it feels like to be wealthy. You already have the neural pathways of financial success wired into your consciousness. Your unconscious mind already knows that you are destined for prosperity, that wealth is seeking you as eagerly as you are seeking wealth, that abundance is not something you chase, but something you attract by becoming it. And as this knowing moves from your unconscious to your conscious awareness, you might find yourself feeling an incredible sense of excitement about the money that's flowing to you, about the opportunities opening up, about the prosperous life you're creating. I can sense that you're beginning to understand that the gratitude you're feeling right now is not just appreciation for what you have, but magnetic attraction for what's coming. That the joy you're experiencing is not just happiness, but the vibrational frequency that calls in greater abundance. That the peace you're feeling is not just calm, but the inner knowing that your financial future is absolutely secured. How does it feel knowing that this very moment, this conversation, these words are aligning you with infinite abundance? That you're going to look back on this as the day you stopped worrying about money and started playing with money. The day you stopped chasing wealth and started receiving wealth. the day you stopped hoping for prosperity and started knowing prosperity as your natural state. People who understand money tend to see it as energy that loves to circulate, as abundance that loves to flow, as prosperity that loves to grow. And isn't it interesting how your experience right now is teaching you something invaluable about your own worthiness, your own capacity to receive, your own magnetic power to attract wealth from all directions? I know you're wondering how all this abundance is going to show up, how this feeling of wealth will transform into actual wealth. And the beautiful truth is that it begins with your complete acceptance right now that you are worthy of prosperity, that you deserve financial freedom, that abundance is your birthright and prosperity is your natural inheritance. Wouldn't you agree that every person who has ever achieved lasting wealth has had to learn to receive gracefully, to appreciate abundantly, to think prosperously even before their bank account reflected their new consciousness? And as you stand in this powerful moment of transformation, you might begin to realize that you're not just changing your relationship with money, you're changing your entire destiny. By the way, there's something magical that happens when a person decides to live from abundance instead of toward abundance, when they embody wealth consciousness regardless of current circumstances, when they treat money as a friend that loves to visit and loves to multiply, and that magic is already beginning to work in your life, already starting to attract opportunities and resources and financial blessings that will astound you. As you continue to process these words, as you continue to feel whatever beautiful sensations are flowing through you, you're also beginning to feel something else rising within you, something powerful and prosperous and completely aligned with your highest financial potential. And that something is your complete confidence in your ability to create wealth, your absolute knowing that money flows to you easily, your unshakable faith that abundance is not just possible but inevitable. The sooner you embrace the truth that you are a natural money magnet, that wealth seeks you out because you appreciate it, that abundance flows through you because you understand its true purpose, the sooner you'll begin to see your entire financial reality shift in ways that will amaze and delight you. That reminds me of a visualization. Imagine yourself standing in a gentle rain, but instead of water falling from the sky, it's golden coins, soft paper money, beautiful abundance in all forms. And as this prosperity rain falls on you, you're not getting wet, you're getting wealthy. And with each drop that touches your skin, your bank account grows, your investments multiply, your financial freedom expands. Even though this might seem too good to be true, even though your logical mind might question how this works, even though you might wonder if you really deserve such abundance, you are in the exact energetic position that every wealthy person has discovered, the state of being where you feel rich before you become rich, where you embody prosperity before it embodies you, and you may find that this feeling, this knowing, this absolute certainty of your wealthy destiny becomes more real than any temporary circumstance. After you open your eyes, after you step back into your day, you'll notice that something fundamental has shifted within you, that the person who worried about money is not the same person who now knows money loves them, that this experience has awakened something in you that was always there but perhaps dormant, and that something is your unshakable knowing that you are wealthy, you are prosperous, you are abundant beyond measure. You might begin to realize that every unexpected check is the universe saying yes to your prosperity. Every new opportunity is abundance, opening another door. Every moment of financial ease is wealth confirming that you belong in the prosperous life you're creating. And when you really understand this, when this truth becomes part of your cellular memory, You'll never again doubt your capacity to create, attract, and receive unlimited abundance. I wonder if you can feel it already, that shift from feeling concerned about money to feeling excited about money, from feeling separate from wealth to feeling intimate with wealth, from feeling like abundance is outside you to feeling like abundance is inside you, because a person can choose in any moment to transform their financial fear into financial faith, their money worry into money joy, their scarcity consciousness into prosperity consciousness. Some people believe that wanting money is somehow wrong, but you're not some people, are you? You're someone who understands that money amplifies who you are, that wealth gives you the freedom to serve more fully, that abundance allows you to love more generously, and you understand that the more prosperous you become, the more prosperous you can help others become. You don't have to know exactly how this financial transformation is going to unfold. You don't have to see every step of your wealth journey. You just have to maintain this feeling of abundance, this knowing that you are prosperous, this absolute certainty that money flows to you as naturally as your heart beats, as automatically as your lungs breathe, as consistently as the sun rises. It's not necessary to figure out all the details right now, but it is necessary to anchor this truth deep in your being. And that truth is that you are wealthy. You have always been wealthy, and you are becoming more wealthy with every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of your abundant life. Before you take another breath, before you move forward into the rest of your prosperous day, I want you to make a decision right now that this is the last day you'll ever doubt your worthiness to receive unlimited abundance. The last day you'll question whether prosperity is possible for you. The last day you'll think small thoughts about your financial future. Because you are abundant, you've always been abundant, and now you're going to live abundant in ways that will inspire everyone around you. You may not be aware of it yet, but you're about to embark on the most incredible journey of financial growth and abundance creation. And this moment that feels so rich right now is going to become the foundation of lasting wealth, sustainable prosperity, and the kind of financial freedom that allows you to live your highest purpose while enjoying life's greatest pleasures. Speaking to yourself now, you can begin to understand that wealth is not about the money itself, but about the freedom it provides, the choices it creates, the love it allows you to express. And as you step into your power as a prosperous being, as you claim your inheritance as a child of abundance, you're not just becoming wealthy, you're becoming a channel through which wealth blesses the world. The question isn't whether you're going to be prosperous. The question is how spectacularly abundant your life is going to become, how inspiring your wealth story is going to be, how many people you're going to lift up through your prosperity consciousness. And something tells me that story is going to be absolutely magnificent, that your abundance is going to ripple out into the world in ways that create prosperity for countless others. And this beautiful cycle of giving and receiving is beginning right now in this moment with your complete acceptance of your wealthy destiny.